Welcome to the channel Stories That Bring Us Closer. Here we talk about emotions, balance, and self-care. Today you will discover a story that many of us can relate to, a journey through the ups and downs of modern life called mental health and well-being. Are you ready? Let's begin. Meet Mariana. She's a lot like you and me. She loves connecting with friends, sharing funny videos, and seeing what's new in the world. Her favorite way to do this? Social media, of course. She'd spend hours scrolling through her feed, seeing picture-perfect lives. Everyone seemed to be on amazing vacations, having flawless skin and achieving incredible things. At first, it was fun, just a way to pass the time. But slowly, something started to change inside her. The more she scrolled, the more a little voice in her head started whispering, "Why isn't my life like that? Am I not doing enough? Am I not good enough?" This constant comparison began to build a heavy feeling in her chest. It was anxiety. Seeing these seemingly perfect lives made her feel insecure and overwhelmed. The digital world that was once a source of fun and connection was now making her feel small and alone. Mariana would look at her phone, her expression shifting from curiosity to worry. The colorful screen reflected in her eyes, but her mind was filled with gray, anxious thoughts. She was caught in a comparison trap, and it was starting to affect her real life, making it hard to focus on school or even enjoy time with her actual friends. Mariana knew she couldn't keep feeling this way. The constant knot in her stomach was exhausting. She decided to do something brave. She talked to her parents. They listened carefully and suggested she speak with someone who could help her understand these confusing feelings. That's how she met Carla, a kind and understanding psychologist. In their first session, Mariana nervously explained how social media made her feel. She was worried Carla would think she was being silly, but Carla's reaction was the opposite. She smiled warmly and said, "Mariana, what you're feeling is completely normal. In fact, it's very common." Carla explained that feelings like anxiety and sadness are just like any other emotion. They are signals from our minds. They're not signs of weakness. They're messages telling us that something in our life might be out of balance. The most important first step, Carla said, is to simply recognize and name your emotions without judgment. Just saying to yourself, "I am feeling anxious right now," is an incredibly powerful act. This was a revelation for Mariana. She had been fighting her feelings, trying to push them away. But Carla taught her that accepting them was the real key to starting her journey toward mental well-being. It was like a light bulb went on in her head. She wasn't broken. She was just human. Meanwhile, one of Mariana's classmates, Lucas, was facing a different kind of challenge. Lucas loved video games and chatting with his friends online. He could spend an entire weekend glued to his screen, exploring virtual worlds and leveling up his characters. It was his favorite escape. But lately, he'd been feeling constantly tired, even after a full night's sleep. His head felt foggy, and he was struggling to keep up in class. He mentioned this to his favorite teacher, Ms. Sophia, during a check-in. Miss Sophia was known for being observant and caring. She listened to Lucas describe his routine and gently asked, "Lucas, how much time are you spending online versus offline?" Lucas hadn't really thought about it. He realized most of his free time was screen time. Miss Sophia explained that while technology is a great tool, our brains and bodies need a break from it. She introduced him to the idea of digital balance. It wasn't about giving up his games entirely, but about creating a healthier mix. She suggested he try scheduling his screen time just like he would for homework or sports. She also encouraged him to find offline hobbies he enjoyed. Guided by her advice, Lucas started making small changes. He set a timer for his gaming sessions. He started going for a short walk after school before opening his laptop. He even rediscovered his old love for drawing. He started studying in a room without his phone, exercised a few times a week, and used technology more mindfully. Slowly but surely, the fog in his head began to clear. He had more energy and felt more present in his own life, not just in a virtual one. Inspired by her conversations with Carla, Mariana began to explore new habits to manage her anxiety. Carla suggested two simple but powerful practices: mindful breathing and journaling. At first, Mariana was skeptical. How could just breathing help with her overwhelming thoughts? But she decided to give it a try. Each morning, before even looking at her phone, she would sit quietly for just 5 minutes. She'd declose her eyes and focus only on her breath, the feeling of the air entering her nose, filling her lungs, and then slowly being released. Whenever her mind wandered to worries or to-do lists, she would gently guide it back to her breath. It was like an anchor in a stormy sea of thoughts. In the evening, she started journaling. She got a simple notebook and wrote down whatever was on her mind, her fears, her joys, what made her feel insecure that day, and what she was grateful for. There were no rules. It was a private space to untangle the mess of feelings inside her. Over the weeks, these small habits started to make a big difference. The breathing exercises helped her feel calmer and more centered throughout the day. When she felt a wave of anxiety coming on at school, she could take a few deep breaths and ground herself. Journaling helped her understand her own triggers and patterns. She felt more focused, more in control, and much less overwhelmed. As Mariana and Lucas continued on their paths, they both discovered another crucial piece of the well-being puzzle: the power of sleep and healthy relationships. Ms. Sophia had explained to Lucas how poor sleep affects everything from mood to concentration. He started enforcing a no screens an hour before bed rule. Instead of scrolling or gaming, he'd read a book or listened to calm music. The difference was incredible. He woke up feeling genuinely rested and refreshed. His mood improved and he felt more confident in school. Mariana, through her journaling, realized that she felt best after spending quality time with a few close, trusted friends, the ones she could be her real self with. She learned to set boundaries online. If an account made her feel bad about herself, she would mute or unfollow it. It was liberating. Both she and Lucas learnt the importance of asking for help when they needed it, whether it was from a parent, a teacher, or a friend. They discovered that real strength wasn't about pretending to have it all together. It was about being vulnerable enough to admit when you don't and reaching out for support. Their connections with others became deeper and more meaningful, providing a safety net that the digital world could never truly offer. They were not just surviving, they were learning to thrive. Months passed, Mariana and Lucas had changed. They still used social media and played video games, but their relationship with technology was different. It no longer controlled them. They were in control. Mariana could now scroll through her feed and appreciate others' posts without letting it diminish her own self-worth. Lucas found a healthy joy in both his online gaming victories and his offline achievements, like finishing a new drawing or having a great conversation with a friend. They had both come to a profound understanding. Caring for your mind is just as important as caring for your body. You wouldn't ignore a broken arm, so why should you ignore feelings of anxiety or burnout? They shared their experiences with their friends, creating a ripple effect of awareness and support. They and their friends looked happier, more relaxed, and more confident. They were learning to navigate the complexities of life with a new set of tools: self-awareness, balance, and connection. They knew their journey with mental health wasn't over, it was a lifelong practice. But now they felt equipped and empowered to face whatever came their way, knowing they weren't alone. We hope the story of Mariana and Lucas resonated with you. Remember, taking care of your mental well-being is a sign of strength. If you enjoyed this story and think it could help someone you know, please share it. Your journey to balance and self-care is important. And you can find more resources and stories just like this one in the Books from the Stories That Bring Us Closer collection. The link is waiting for you in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.